besides the fact that in the original Utah was dark hair and Bodhi's a blonde one, and that's the contrary now, what other differences is there between the characters?
Yeah, I think you see a bit more of where Utah comes from and his kind of reasons for getting into the FBI, and you see that it comes from like a pretty tragic place. Like when you first meet him in the movies, he's young and he's full of life and confidence and stuff like that, and then kind of almost like that, this unspeakable tragedy happens, and you see him like straight away. He's in the FBI and he's a changed guy. He's got the kind of the weight of the world on his shoulders, whereas the original, he's a bit more fly by the seat of your pants. He's a bit of a clean-cut kind of dude, whereas you know that Utah's got a past in this, and he's trying to shed that layer and trying to shed that weight and forge his own path in life and balance up that chaos and that structure that he needs in his life, trying to find the perfect mix for it. So yeah, there's a few differences, but I think the heart and soul of him is there. You know, what drives him is what drove the original Utah, and I think it's what drove the original Point Break is what drives this original movie, this reimagining.
Did you have to bring out the Keanu Reeves in you to play the part, or to get rid of it? We all have a little of Keanu Reeves.
We all have a little bit, yeah, absolutely. We all got a bit of Johnny Utah in us, and yeah, there's a little bit. I wanted to make sure that I didn't mimic Keanu or be, you know, a tribute act at all, because what he did was awesome, and we all love him for that, and we all love that role. So yeah, as I said, I took the bare bones of it, and there's certain similarities in terms of, you know, Utah's from the extreme sports world, so there's a certain accent similarity to a degree, but definitely, you know, I definitely made sure I didn't want to go anywhere near what he did or touch it. I wanted to leave that in the glass box in the museum that it should be in.
I just talked with Edgar, and he told me that there was the big difference between the two movies, that there's a different meaning in the extreme sport, in the way those guys approach what they're doing because of the time we live in. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's 25 years since the original Point Break, you know, and not just extreme sports, but the world has changed in many different ways, and seems to be changing kind of every month now, and it seems to be really evolving in a quick way. And I think, yeah, you know, the attitude that the people are taking, not just the extreme sportsmen, but the public in general, are taking towards extreme sports is one of, oh, these guys are athletes. These guys are real sportsmen. They're not just crazy guys out for fun on a Sunday. Like, they take this very seriously. That's their life. They train every day, and their whole life is committed to this, like any other athlete is. So, yeah, I mean, and also with this movie and the kind of themes involved in it, and Bodhi and his gang and what they're doing, their connection to extreme sports means that they have a connection to the environment and to Mother Nature and the Earth, because without the Earth and without these elements and without Mother Nature, these sports are impossible. And
they're building walls now, you can climb and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What is nature?
Exactly, yeah, when we get a standing wave, it's nowhere near, it's just as good, right? Yeah. You're not nature, it's so overrated, right?
You think there's a philosophy behind what they do?
Yeah, I think there's a philosophy there, and I think Utah understands it. I think everyone's going to understand the philosophy, but it's Utah's decision to decide whether he thinks the ends justify the means, and whether he thinks that what Bodhi's doing is just, and you know, he might agree with the fact that it's all what Bodhi's trying to do, but he might not agree with how he's going about it. And I think people will be in that dilemma. Some people might agree wholeheartedly with Bodhi and side with it, and some people in the audience might agree with what Utah did and might have pulled out at the exact same time that Johnny Utah did.
Oh, I had so much fun watching the film yesterday, but there's a question that kind of lingers. They have all this equipment, they're on the top of this mountain, and they have the tent, and they have the wings and everything. They didn't bring a lighter?
That's funny you say that. No, I'm sure they did, but I think for them it's more like, you know, they have this, as I said, there's a connection to the Earth, you know what I mean? I think they just did it for fun, for a laugh, you know? That's the kind of people they are. They're doing all these crazy things, but then to strip it right back down, and you know, they're living on, they have to bring it down to a very tangible kind of level, and I think they want to connect more than anything. They probably did have a lighter, but the guy just went, no, I'm going to show you a trick, you know? They probably made a bet between each other, you know? Something like that.
Do you feel that this Point Break can have the same impact on the new generation, the kids of now, that it has on you when you were a kid?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, this is something that, I mean, these sports have never been seen in this way, and I don't know if you're ever going to see a movie like this again. You know, the way this was filmed was was truly beautiful, and really put you right in there next to these extreme athletes doing these sports. So I think it'll have the same impact. You know, Utah's going for gold, going for broke, and it's a real gung ho attitude. So yeah, I think I hope people enjoy it and take something away from it, and I hope the new generation is inspired, because I felt lucky to have Point Break when I was growing up. So I hope that this generation can have their own Point Break and hold it close to their heart like I did.